I need. How you my dog and you subbing me? If I ain't search for you, then don't you come for me. No DMS, what they really want from me.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Unfiltered and Raw with your girl, Michele with the 1L. Thank you guys for tuning in to another week of some raw and unfiltered conversation. Today I have some amazing guests. We're going to talk about some relationship issues. Our topic today is going to be about communication within relationships. But before I introduce my guest, actually, you know what? Let me bring my guest on so we can talk about some of this stuff together before we actually get into the meat and potato of things. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I got my girl Karen Everett in the building.
Hey, I was rocking. Was that T? I was sitting here rocking.
Yes, that was Tisha. You know, I got her as my intro. Go T, go T.
Baby girl, like it.
Yes, and I got my guy Justice on. Welcome to the show, Justice. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, how y'all doing? I think I just got my headphones working, so if y'all can hear me, we good to go.
Perfect. Yep, we can hear you just fine.
All
so
right.
I do want to start the show off. This week kind of was first of all, happy belated 420 to all of those who partake in the day. Shout out to all my 420ers out there. I'm still celebrating, but that's a whole nother story. But I know we just had a I guess we can call it a win or whatever you want to call it, because that Chauvin trial, he got found guilty on all three.
I'm calling that accountability. I'm not even with the justice thing.
Me neither.
He's accountable.
Yeah, with that.
Agreed. Yes, I agree. I mean, finally something. It's not really justice, like you said. It's accountability, because he needed to go to jail. Because how the hell are you not going to go to jail when the world saw you do it?
Murder. We saw a murder on TV.
On TV. And the young girl. I'm all day long I've been sitting there on my Facebook feed and I've been watching. And listen, everybody's entitled to have their opinions about things. But when I'm seeing people say things like this girl just, she should have gotten shot. I have a real big problem with that. Now, listen, I know everybody's child is not the greatest child. And I don't know her story. I don't know what happened. I mean, I did see the video. I don't know if you guys saw the video. I did see the video, and it looked like there was some sort of altercation going on and there was a knife involved. But that cop shot to kill.
Mm-hmm. But they always do for us. They always do.
And the thing is, I'm wondering what's going on with my news feed versus what everybody else's news feed. Because when I saw the story break on mine, it said that the girl called the police because 8 girls showed up at her house trying to jump her. And she was outside trying to protect herself with the knife. And the cop pulled up, and without asking any questions or trying to see what was going on, he shot the girl with the knife. She's the one who called the police. Right. That's the only thing that's consistent about this story.
Yes.
But what we got to know is he can't show up by himself, pull his gun out, and get a crowd of people in order. That's not the way police are trained to function. You can't pull me over for a traffic stop without calling for the second car to come and assist. How can you show up at a brawl with one gun and think you're going to get some order? Right. So we have to stop these cops from thinking they're renegades and thinking they can bring justice and do everything with the barrel of their gun. That don't solve all these problems. And we got to stop them from believing that it does. And we can't be figuring out this stuff after the fact. He should have pulled up trying to figure out what's going on while you have a knife. Right. Because me, I had the discussion with my class, and for me, I'm like, if I show up to a scene and I see 12 people out here and it's one person with a knife, my natural thought is this person with the knife needs to help. Because there's no need for this one person to pull out a knife if you got 9 people with you. They about to jump you. They about to jump your ass. Pardon my friend.
No, ain't no party.
We don't have to gonna beat your ass. That
whatever happened to drop the knife? Whatever happened to point the gun and drop the knife if that's the case? Like, I don't understand this shoot.
All of that.
And then you shoot 4 times, not once, not even just once to say, okay, let me shoot you in the leg just to, to stop you. You shot
but I'm
4
and I'm
times.
gonna shoot into a crowd of you. I'm gonna
A
shoot
crowd
into
of you.
whole
I mean,
crowd of
we
you.
got police
I could have hit
officers that don't
anybody.
know the difference between a gun and a taser, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Because you know
shooting
what
in
the
a crowd
problem
of
is?
people.
I don't know how long this guy was on the force, but they get these fucking rookies in here that don't really know shit, and they're afraid. They're out here fearful. So they're reacting from a place of fear.
Mm-hmm.
So their first instinct is to shoot. And because they feel like, okay, if I don't shoot, somebody's going to kill me. So they're not reacting from a place of, let me try to diffuse the situation the best way that I can. I'm going to fucking take them out before they take me out. That's kind of what I feel like a lot of these cops are thinking. And
but
especially
why is
when
it
it's
only
us.
when it's brown people?
Because we're the threat, because of our skin color. We're the threat.
So I forgot where that case was, but remember the white guy, he had ammunition and was shooting at the cops. They did not shoot to kill him
at all.
They did not kill him.
Didn't they taser that one? Didn't they taser him or some crazy shit?
They did something to bring him down, but they did not shoot him. But he had an assault rifle, and he was shooting at them.
You see what I'm saying? And I saw that, and I did see that. Because it's us that they're fibbing, and people want to say, "Oh, I saw somebody say something like, oh, if it was one of our child, or one somebody else's children, wouldn't you have want them to kill them because they were trying to kill the other person?" What are you talking about right now? With the knife?
It.
So that's saying
if
somebody
if it's your daughter about to be stabbed, when you want the cop to come stop this, no, that's not how it happens. That's not how it happens. You don't automatically go to the victim. Let's talk about why this one girl's out here with a knife, and it's not the girl out there with 8 other girls with her, because there ain't no need to pull out no knife. You got the numbers. So that's just not the scenario, and that's that victimology that that persuasion play. We can't play that card on ourselves. No, man.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. And that's just the fucked up part about it, that we just living in in the time where cops are not really trying to protect us anyway. They ain't trying to protect us. They just want to fucking wipe us out of here. So and wasn't that that happened like a couple of minutes before the actual guilty verdict was read or something of that nature, right?
I think so.
I believe so. From when I was reading, and that shit is just crazy to me. So now the 16-year-old girl is just gone, and let's see what's gonna happen. Because are they gonna charge the cop? Because I don't think the cop is gonna get charged. Honestly,
probably not, because she had a knife.
But she didn't. Well, they're gonna say that she was gonna harm someone else.
Yep. But the fact
is, stopped her.
I mean, they always, to be honest with you, this is like the first time that we've had, and I'm using air quotes, justice for a cop killing one of us or whatever. And, everybody is saying that the turning point was because it was a video that was shown. If that video didn't exist, we wouldn't be right here talking about this cop that got a guilty verdict for killing somebody. They get away with this. How many other videos have we seen where they shot the guy in the back, or they did something like that and they got off? So this is supposed to be the big turning point. I'm sitting and waiting for that.
Sure indeed.
Did we lose audio?
I'm here.
Michele? We lost Michele. How we gonna lose my girl on her show? Come on now.
The host.
I know. Well, we're gonna have to carry it through for her.
Yeah, it might be an internet situation. That they said a revolution won't be televised, but can we do audio? Can we have the revolution on audio? No. Can we just do audio? Let's try it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had a really good conversation. Like on Wednesdays, we have club days at my school, and I have a freestyle camp that I do, and we do a little rapping, but it always has, for the past couple of weeks, gone into this real deep discussion. And we was talking about the 15-year-old girl, and as I was talking with these students, and I don't have, this is all virtual, so I don't have no idea if I'm talking to a white kid or you with us, Michele?
Oh, okay, yes. I don't know what just happened, guys.
I don't know. You went silent, so we was just holding it down.
That was weird because I can hear you guys and everything. Thank you for the holding me down and all of that. I appreciate it. Well, go ahead and Justice, you was telling the story.
And so I didn't have no idea if I'm talking to a little brown girl, black girl, whatever, white girl, whatever. And we were just talking about the situation, and they had a similar take. Like if I came on the scene and I saw one girl with a weapon and all these other people, I would naturally think that this person is trying to defend themselves,
right?
Because there's no need for, if I'm with my girl, and this is a middle schooler telling me, if I'm with 8 of my girls, we not pulling out no weapon if we on one girl. And I'm like, exactly. Like,
right.
So, these cops, they have this psychological test that they use to weed out the brown and the black and brown candidates for the police academy. But that needs to change because a lot of these kids that grow up and become cops, they didn't have any respect in high school. They was bullied or they weren't the popular ones. They weren't respected. And this is their first chance to be respected.
Right.
And with that power, it goes to their heads.
I think they need to redo those psychological exams that they give the cops because obviously it's not doing its job.
I think they need to be in the community that they plan to work in the community. They need to put in 1,000 community service hours in random places because these cops get jobs in communities they don't even go to shopping. They don't do anything in these communities except for work. So you don't understand the nature or the energy of the community.
Anything about
so you don't know how to look at this little girl, little boy, little brown boy. You don't know how to receive them. And that's the problem. They just get a job and get put
that's one of
in
the
a
problems.
community.
So
one of them.
Problems.
So many problems with that whole situation with these cops just getting jobs because some of them they get the jobs that's supposed to be protect and serve, but they just really getting a job for the paycheck. Or they're getting the job to not protect and serve, but to come in and to rid the community of what they feel are the bad apples.
Teach somebody some lessons.
Right.
Give them respect, put them in line, put them in their place. All of that stuff has got to stop.
It's got to stop. But it's crazy because you got the KKK in police uniforms now.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So it's just insane. It's insane. But we know we don't want to go all the way down. So we're going to try to bring it back up a little bit. We're going to talk about, but I did want to address it because it is something that needs to be addressed. And the topic is trending right about now. So that's what we're all talking about. And we're all affected by it. At the end of the day, we're all affected by it because, it could be any of us, none of us I wake up every day. I'm praying for my sons and even my daughters and my brothers and my uncles and everybody, so it's just kind of that's why we have to live these days. And the topic of the show today is communication. So we know that the first part in any relationship, a new relationship is communication, how well we communicate with that person. I know that is for me. Communication is the most important thing to me. And if we can't vibe and our communication is off, then everything else is going to be off for me.
Absolutely.
So we're going to dig into what the differences are between unhealthy communication and healthy communication.
Okay.
And what's effective communication. Because, we're all up in age, I'm not going to say my age. I'm not going to just put old on just anybody because I don't really know all your ages except Karen.
I'm not old either. You may know, but I ain't old, damn it.
So, we have experiences and I have come across people who I feel are very bad when it comes to communication. And I think we all probably experience those type of people, especially in getting to know somebody. And just even in friendships, I think communication is very important because even just the friendships, if there's bad communication, there's going to be things that are going to be misconstrued, misunderstandings, arguments, all kind of negative bullshit that could be avoided. And I always say a lot of problems can be solved by a simple conversation.
That is my motto. I think 99.9% of the problems in the world can be solved by a simple communication.
Yes, the simple communication. Effective communication. Actually understanding where somebody else is coming from. I know I had posted a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week or so ago, about whose responsibility is it when you're having a conversation with someone to...
We went back and forth with that.
Yeah, I think we talked about that, right? About, is it the responsibility of the person who's communicating to make sure that the message that they're getting across is understood by the receiver? Or is it the receiver to make sure that they are getting a clear understanding of what the person is saying?
Yep. And I think it's the communicator. You need to effectively communicate your message to your audience so that they understand. It's not the receiver's responsibility, because they don't know what you're trying to communicate anyway.
In the first place.
It's your responsibility to communicate to that person and not say it louder, right? Or say the same thing again. If they're not getting it, then you failed to deliver the message that you're trying to give. And it's your responsibility to find a way so that they understand it. You got to say it in their language.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Let's
stay right here for a minute.
Let's go.
I disagree. So, I personally think that no matter how you say something, if the listener is not willing and ready to receive it, you can never put enough sugar on it for them to accept it.
Well, you opened up another whole can of worms, because now you're saying that the person is not willing. I'm talking about all things equal, right? We're having this conversation and I'm open to what you're saying. If I don't get it, then it's up to you to say it in a way that I get it. Now, if I'm not going to be open to it, you're absolutely right. There's nothing you can do. Nothing. You're right.
I think one of the... Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. So in that instance, so the person is not willing to receive what you're saying. Mm-hmm. But what if that's somebody that you need them to receive what you're saying? It's like, you can't just leave that conversation without that person getting it. Like, what do you do in that situation?
That's an impasse, and I have been there often. And I'm not saying that I'm the greatest communicator, but women don't necessarily ever complain about understanding what I'm saying. It's all they result, or the cop out is to tone. And I say, okay. I get it. But if it's really not the tone, it's that you're not ready to receive what I'm saying. And I can say it 4 or 5 different ways, but it has to be that level of, what the community, I guess it's trust. The trust increases the communication. Right. When you're getting to know somebody, you're still trying to get that trust and get there. So you're just accepting everything they're saying. So that's why the communication is bomb when you're in the process. But when you're there and you know each other, now you expect that message to come a different way, or in a way that you can receive it. But just, I had a post the other day, don't ever miss the message looking at the messenger. Just get the message. Absolutely. And we was talking about DMX, and it was like all up in arms because, he's so embraced, and, the religious community fell away because they're in the church house and they're doing all this and that. This man went on stage in front of his crowd and his sold out arenas, and he prayed. Right. So he was an effective tool in his communicating how he felt about God. So
and that's clear too, because look how his death impacted so many people.
And the people that knew him best or that talked about it, they talked about how he prayed. Yes. Right? They talked about how religious. Don't get wrapped up in the fact that he had a drug addiction problem, or all the other things, because we all have issues, right? We all have things that are going on. Nobody's life is perfect, and nobody is doing the most perfect thing. No one is holier than the other, because we all have our bag of issues, but we get caught up in judging other people's issues and thinking that their issues are worse than ours, and puts us in a position where we can look down and judge them. You can't judge anybody.
Absolutely.
And here's to bring it full circle. Those same people in that concert that received that message from DMX, if the pastor walked up to them and said the same thing, it'd be like, "You're full of shit. Get away."
Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
So it's on the listener to be able to receive and be willing to receive that message, and in a place to receive it. So
because I think sometimes when we communicate with people, we communicate from our own level of understanding a lot of times, and not really paying attention to how this person is actually hearing what you're saying. Because we could just be talking, and that person might be getting bits and pieces of what we're saying. And sometimes people, depending on where they are, now there's so many different things that affect a person's way that they receive things. It could be trauma. It could be something in that conversation that triggered them and took them to a whole different space that you wasn't even trying to create. So now this person is in their head about what you're saying to them, and they're taking it personal. They're starting to get on their feelings. They're getting defensive. They're getting upset. And you're not even saying anything that you think should cause that.
Right. And that's where it comes in. If you are, if I'm trying to deliver the message, that's where it comes in, that you have to recognize that, you have to switch up, because you see that the message that you're trying to give is not being received the way that you intended for it to be received. So you need to back up and then approach it differently. I always compare it to, you're giving a speech, right? And you step out there and you give a speech. If you're talking to kindergarten grade, right, age people, there's a different way that you're going to talk to them for them to understand your message than you're going to talk to PhD audience, right? So in that instance, it is the giver, it's the person that's doing the communicating. It is on you to communicate the message to the level of your audience. You have to adjust to your audience to make sure that your audience can understand the message that you're giving out. It's on you. Now,
I kind of agree with that, because I also think that if you leave that conversation and it's not, and something is unresolved, then I feel like if I'm the one that's communicating the message, then I failed in getting whatever it was that I was trying to get across.
Absolutely. You might need to go back and try it again. You might need to leave it.
Right.
Or, depending on the situation, if I'm being stubborn and I'm just unwilling to get it, to understand, or I'm just closing my mind to what you're saying, or the communicator just got frustrated and can't think of a different way to say it, then
just said, fuck it.
We're at an impasse.
I'm done.
We're at an impasse. So, I think the roles change. Sometimes it's on the receiver. If you're being intentionally difficult and you're not trying to get it, you're not opening it, then it's on you. Because like you said, Justice, no matter what I do to it, you're not going to get it.
You're not going to get it. See, those are type of people that I have a hard time actually communicating with. And if
well, you could, yeah.
Because what are we doing right now? Because I know people that every time I have a conversation with them, it turns into some sort of disagreement. And I'm saying to myself, how is this every time? Every time. So now you start looking at yourself like, well, shit, what am I saying?
Right.
That's wrong. But it could be them. It could be the way that they're receiving everything. Because if everything that they're receiving from you is triggering something, now mind you, I'm pretty aware of my triggers. And a lot of times I recognize certain shit. Like something somebody could say to me may not have shit to do with what's going on in my head. Right. So they're saying something and it's triggering some other shit. Some feelings from something else. And now I done got myself all worked up and what the fuck did they mean? Oh, they meant blah, 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 blah. But see, I usually recognize that, and I usually talk myself off the ledge, or
and
I call one of my great friends, like Karen.
That's the I knew you was gonna go there.
Like, girl, am I overreacting? Am I overreacting? She
No,
like, yes.
but you know what? That's the high emotional IQ part of you, because you realize, right, that it's you. It's a trigger. You knew that it's something that triggered you, and you backed off and, you know, regroup to come up. The person that takes that all the way and then tries to turn it around and put it back on the communicator, you know it's you. So don't turn it around and put it on the person. Like, if you approach every situation that's difficult when you're trying to communicate with somebody, that what could I have done to change that? What could I have said differently? You know, if you own it, then I think it's better. If everyone is owning it, right, then it's going to be fixed. But if I'm the type of person that's always going to put it on the other person, we're never going to get anywhere.
We're never going to, and you're always playing the victim. Or even when it's time for you to take accountability for your shit, you somehow or another flip it,
put it on
and
somebody else.
Put it on the other person, and without you even taking accountability for it yourself. To me, I call that very, very unhealthy communication, and probably a little bit emotional immaturity.
Absolutely.
Yes, and the people that engage in that, they're the bad communicators.
Yes.
That's why I say it's about the receiver, because we're here talking right now, and we're communicating. We're willing. So I already know by what you just said, like the mere fact that you say, wait, did I misstep in what I was presenting or what I was saying? That's the mode of a good communicator. That's what you do. You make sure that you check self first. Like, did I say something? Could I have rephrased that? Could I have phrased that differently? That's because you are concerned about your communication and making sure that you're communicating properly and accurately what you're trying to say.
Right.
Bad communicators, they can't say nothing, they can't speak them what they're trying to say fluently, and they can't receive what you're saying to them fluently.
And they don't don't give a fuck. And they just like,
and they don't give a damn.
And they don't.
And it's you.
They don't.
It's you. It's how you said it.
Always the other person.
It's when you said it. It's all these other things except for these words that came out my mouth, the way I sent them out to you. It's all these other things. And that's what I have experienced.
Yes, me too. And I've experienced that as well. And then when you try to even have a conversation with them and say, hey, well, you know, or they're very defensive when I'm having a conversation with someone and they say things like, oh, I didn't say you were trying to do that. Like, you could be just saying whatever. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know exactly what I'm saying? They automatically take what you're saying as a personal attack on them, and they feel the need to defend themselves to you.
Yep.
So there's something in them that's being triggered about something that you said that had nothing to do with them. So immediately they go into defense mode and say things like, I didn't say that you said that, or I didn't say that. That drives me crazy. Okay.
I'm there.
That shit drives me crazy, because then I have to stop the conversation, because I'm like, we're not going to get anywhere, because no matter what I'm saying, you're going to take it personal.
Nitpicking everything.
And make it about you.
Yep.
Gonna make it about you. And I was like, and then I also try to understand that, you know, everyone is not going to be the best communicator because of whatever their childhood experiences are, their past traumas and things of that nature. I get it, but don't expect me to be fucking trying to talk to your ass, because my patience is so thin. I just can't. And having to always explain myself because a person is offended by something that I said that I didn't even mean that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to make it about me. I'm just saying in general, as far as how communication goes, but these are just my experiences when it comes to just communicating with people in general.
It makes it difficult because you have to monitor everything that you say. Like, you can't, I want to be able to say what I want to say, how I want to say it, and you not take it as a personal
attack.
Right. And yeah, so sometimes you do have to watch how you say, you know, something to somebody, but to be on your P's and Q's, it's a very difficult conversation
It
to
is.
have to do that all the time.
I don't like
I'll
eggshells.
shut down. I just won't talk
Me
to you.
too. I don't like eggshells.
I shut it down. I mean, there are some people that, yes, like, and we all have those friends that we know we can say whatever and get away with. Like
Right.
I'm gonna tell you how the hell I feel. We
And I want you to.
Right. We do this. Did I overreact? Did I say that wrong? Was this wrong? Yeah, you was wrong. We laugh about it and move on or whatever. But the thing about it is you recognize it, right? Because if I have to ask you,
9 times out of 10,
then I know, right?
Exactly.
And you have to go back. But if I constantly have to watch what I say, if I feel like this, if we're friends and I care about you and I love you, right? It may not come out the exact same way, but if you know that it's coming from a place of love, why are you offended by it? And if you are offended, why do you have to react that way? You should be able to tell me, you hurt my feelings. And I should be able to tell that's not how I meant. And
apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Right.
And blah, 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 and we move on. But for you to take that and that 9 times out of 10, I care about you. I love you, and I'm coming from a good place. But you got so offended by one thing, and you shut down completely and went on about your merry way. That's not about me. That's something about you.
It's about you that they're not recognizing.
Yep.
And let me just we're gonna, because I know we're already at 30 minutes. I knew this conversation was gonna go. But it's flowing, so we're gonna keep it going for a little while longer. Because I'm actually enjoying the conversation. When it comes to relationships and being intimate, because this is you guys know this is a 3-part series, so I might need y'all to come back on.
I found like when I saw this thing, like was that communicated to you effectively?
I'm just saying, I like, and I'm liking the vibe here, so I think this is good. So when it comes to relationships and just intimate relationships, with the we have the female perspective and the male perspective. When it comes to communicating in your relationship, y'all know that can be a real tricky, because matters of the heart and emotions are involved. So when communicating with your partner, what differences do you see when communicating with your friends? Are there really any differences?
It's been so long, I have to really think on it.
Justice, let me hear the male perspective.
So for me, like for like what you was just saying, you should be able to say some things to your friend and they be able to receive it because they know it comes from a place of love. Well, I think everybody should have a board that they can tap into to check when things go awry, especially when you're in a relationship. Like I have 2 female best friends that I always call and run my scenario, and I fully expect, and they know I fully expect and entrust them to say, you on some bullshit, brother. And so that's what their job is. You know what I'm saying? And I play that role for them when it comes to their male situation. And I also find myself playing or fulfilling that role for many of the guys in my circle that we deal with. But we have a circle that we come to, and we know that, when we're in the garage, we say, hey, I need a session. We come to the garage and we have it out and we talk honestly. And I don't want that conversation. My conversation is not different for anybody. I'm an oversharer. Okay. So if you say something to me, I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to give you a story of how I got there and take it with a grain of salt. But that's exactly what it is, and that's the role I play. And my communication is the same in a relationship as with everybody I deal with. I'm pretty insightful. And so, people expect to get that 100 from me. And women like that in me because they know they're going to get the truth, the unbridled truth out of it.
The raw and unfiltered truth.
Raw. But the issue comes when they want that lie and I don't give it to them. No, this is the truth. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to handle sometimes. And a lot of women say, man, just tell me the truth, I can deal with it. but I have proven that wrong on several occasions because it gets to a point where, you know, in a lot of dealings with men and women, start indulging in the lies and do start dishing out the lies to keep everything going. And I don't play that game because I want that situation where we can sit down, we don't have to agree. I just can understand exactly where you're coming from and be comfortable with that. You can understand exactly where I'm coming from and be comfortable with that. I don't need to convert you. You don't need to convert me. And I just feel like that's possible. I don't know if it's possible, but I feel like that's what I'm going to need if I'm going to be married and if I'm going to grow old with somebody and we're going to change together. And at some point in time, we're going to not see eye to eye on several things, but I still need to be able to communicate with you when we're not seeing things eye to eye. When the times are not great, we still got to be able. I still got to look at you and know there's so much more to you than what we're not agreeing on right now. That doesn't even do anything. We just skate on past it. And I find that in my situations, when it gets to that hard place where we don't agree, I'll tell you straight up, I don't have to be right. I just need to be understood. You know, it's so many scenarios and perspectives. I just need to be understood. I don't care about being right. I might end up being right a whole lot. And with that information, you can do what you like. I would feel comfortable if I'm talking to somebody and say, I don't know if this is true, but for me, I think this. And then a week later, that's exactly what happened. Like, how many times can you do that with somebody before you say, this nigga is on some shit? He knows something. So I'm like, you know, for me, it's like I feel like I should be able to have that queen in my corner that I can feel that when she said this, she's not trying to tell me this is what it is, this is what she thinks. And then a week later, it comes into fruition. I'm gonna come in the house. I'm gonna hug the hell out your ass.
You damn right.
You was right. God damn. Hey, listen to this one. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And you know what? People want to be heard. People want to be heard. That's I think that's what the most of us, we want to be heard and we want to be respected in what we're saying.
Absolutely.
So and I think that's what a communication is about. Between whether it's your partner or your friend or whatever, we need to hear each other. And it shouldn't be a thing where one person is feeling like you're not hearing me, all you want to do is just talk, and you're not listening. Because when someone is constantly telling you that you're not listening to them, that usually means that
irritates me. Not listening, or I don't understand.
Or I don't understand. Or sometimes you could be listening to what they're saying, but you don't agree.
Right.
Now, and there's that.
Fine. You cannot agree, but you don't have to be disagreeable.
And some people don't understand or don't like being someone disagreeing with them. They take that as them being wrong.
Right. And it's not to me,
it's not a right or wrong.
All or nothing thing. For you to be right doesn't mean that I'm always mean that I'm wrong.
Mean, just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I'm saying you're wrong. It just means that I don't agree with your point of view in this moment. And maybe it'd be something for me to, kind of marinate on, because I can always see what another person is saying. Even because I don't agree with it doesn't mean I'm not telling you that you're wrong by me not agreeing. And some people don't get that. Right. They feel like if you disagree that you're telling them that they're wrong. And now they're combative and they want to fight you.
And then my conversation is over. And depending on how I
feel done after that.
What day it is, I might continue to disagree just to piss you off.
Petty. That's petty. Or somebody always telling you that you always disagree with them. Well, because your asses ain't saying nothing that sound right to me.
Because you make me laugh when I don't agree with you in the way that you act. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, me and Karen disagree on certain topics often. And it's fine.
You're my favorite person to disagree with.
Because we do, right. And yes, we do. It sparks good dialogue.
Yeah.
On her end, I can, she's getting her point, and I may see some of it. I may not see. She may see some of my point, but at the end of the day, it's fine, and it's mutual respect for each other.
Yeah,
so we can agree.
Like, all right, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Now, those are the type of people I can communicate with and have healthy dialogue. Them other motherfuckers, excuse me, but guys, I can't do it.
But
because
I
then
love
it turns
having
into an
conversations
argument.
with people that I don't always agree with. And that is because that's where your learning comes from, right?
Yes.
I never want somebody in my corner that's always yes, 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 and co-signing and sanctioning every single thing I do, because I'm not learning anything. You grow when you're having a conversation with somebody and you can understand and see the other side. And that's why I would say I reserve the right to change my opinion, because I feel this way. We have this conversation and you open my eyes to something else. I'm not saying that I'm going to automatically agree with you. Right. I may have to go off and research myself and look into something or whatever, but you've opened my eyes to another point of view. After you get that additional information, that additional education, you'd be a fool to stay where you were. You evolve and you can change your opinion. That's growth. Showing your growth. Absolutely.
It's about growth. It really is. And two people that can agree to disagree and can actually come back, because I've actually disagreed with someone and then went and marinated on it and saw their point of view and then came back and said, you know what? I totally get what you were saying. And I totally agree with you now.
Big. That's major. That's big.
You know what I'm saying?
People have a problem admitting that they were wrong.
Right.
Or, people have a problem with that.
Yeah, they really, really do. And it's unfortunate, but this is the world we live in. And again, I always try to consider a person, maybe their back, if I know, because I don't know everybody's background. I don't know what everybody's gone through in their lives. I don't know. But I generally can tell that there's something when a person is very, very disagreeable from the gate. Mm-hmm. Like you can't even have a healthy dialogue. They're automatically getting defensive and they're automatically getting all, then I'm like, all right, this motherfucker got some issues. I don't know how we're going to continue this conversation, but I'm the person that always tries to be the person that sees, and my circle they probably somewhere listening like, yeah, this bitch is over here. Excuse me, I didn't mean to call myself that, but hey, they might be saying it.
In a sweet way.
They think I'm the mean one sometimes, and I'm not the mean one. I'm just like very, very, aggressive to some degree. So I can be aggressive in my approach. Now that I recognize about myself. So that's something that I do work on, because the aggressiveness is not always very passionate. It's not always received well, because some people may take it a different way.
You get a bad rep for that. I think I'm guilty of that too. If I'm passionate about something and I say, and especially if you're having a conversation with a passive aggressive person, or someone that doesn't have, such a forceful or strong personality, you get labeled very quickly.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And I'm okay with that too, though. I'm okay with that, because, I understand that everybody is not going to see me the same way that everybody else does.
And that's fine. I mean, in that instance, you have to be okay within yourself. And I've done it. I've had conversations with people and it didn't go the way that I thought, or they've become offended or something. And I have to scratch my head, because at what point in time, based on the interaction that we've had in the past, what came out that made you feel like all of a sudden I'm going to change the way that I communicate with you or that I feel about you, and all of a sudden I'm going to say something that's intentionally meant to harm you? Like that just doesn't make sense. Where did that come from? And I've scratched my head like, what is really going on with you? Because I check myself a lot. What did I say? How did I say it? Could I have said that differently? If the person said the same thing that I said to them, if they said that to me, how would I take that type of thing? Like I always try to put myself in the other shoe and check myself first. I always take ownership of it first. And if I can't come up with something, I'm going to leave it there, because now I feel like the onus is on you to let me know what the problem is.
Exactly. I totally agree. Well, guys, this has been super, super dope conversation. And We
I
are.
don't think I answered your question though about the male and female.
Oh no, you didn't. You absolutely didn't. I'm sorry. I was about to wrap it on up. Okay.
Oh no, you can wrap it up, but it just
no. But go on.
That I didn't. But I think that my answer to that, your short answer to that is, my communication with my mate would be different because, with my mate, I feel like I can be vulnerable. I feel like that mate should know me and I know them. Like we're intimate, so we know each other on a different level, and you can see past what I'm saying to know, where I am. So I think that my communication with my mate or with anybody else is based on my relationship with them. So it is going to be different. I am gonna have a different type of communication with my mate than I am, with my friend.
Yeah, and for me, I think I think it's the same thing. I see Justice was saying he's kind of, who he is who he is, and how he communicates is how he communicates all around the board. I might not, being that I'm a woman, I might not be as aggressive,
right,
when it comes to my guy, because again, it's a matter of the heart. So you kind of gotta submit to some degree.
And you and I
have
a problem with that because we've got that domineering, we've got that strong personality, and I'm that way not because I want to be, but because I feel I have to be, because I don't have that mate to cover me. So I have to take care of myself. I would love to put that in somebody else's hand, but we get a bad rap because we are strong, and we do have to take that step back when we're in a relationship.
Right. And
why?
then
wait, let's stay here for a second.
Okay.
Why do you have to take a step back?
All right.
Like what is the you said strong. So what is off-putting, or what is off-putting to men that you have to water down yourself a little bit, or the way, is it your tone, or is it the subject matter, or what you're saying?
I don't have to do that. Like, I don't have to take care of everything. I don't have to take control and decide everything, because I'm going to defer to him, right? Because I'm kind of old-fashioned in that sense. Like I'm independent because I have to be, not because I want to be. Not saying I need to be dependent on somebody else, but if something happens, right, in my life, in my household, or whatever the case may be, it's me. So I'm making the decision. But if I'm in a relationship, right, I'm going to consider him. And if he steps up and he says, this is how we're going to do, I'm following that. But right now, I don't have to bounce that off of anybody else, because it's me. I'm making the decision. And I tend to do that, because I have a strong personality. I need a guy that also has a strong personality, because if not, I can steamroll over you. And it's not my intention.
Yeah. And that wouldn't be the type of guy that we would end up being with anyway. But see, for me, I think that when I feel like I'm going to be myself. And, I have male friends, and one of my homeboys, he's always telling me, he was like, yo, you think like a dude. And I say, well,
compliment, but it's an insult.
And I don't know. I don't take it as an insult.
That's not an insult.
No, I don't take it as an insult. I really, I take it, well, whatever. It's not a compliment or insult, whatever. I just receive that, because I know that in some instances, I say things that some women may not agree with.
Right.
So it kind of looks like I'm on the other side, but I'm looking from another side. Like, I see a lot of women talk about men and, with the bitter, the angry women, and they always, men ain't shit and all that. And I'm just like, and I'm the person that's going to be like, okay, well, how about you take a look at yourself and ask yourself why you ended up with those type of men that ain't shit.
Over and over and over again.
Right. So at some point, it becomes your damn fault.
Right. You need to check yourself.
A lot of women don't want to hear another woman say shit like that. They want you to be on the bandwagon and be like, oh, man, ain't shit.
But why? Like, why do we have to put everybody? You have a bad relationship with a man. Why does that translate to all men ain't shit?
Because you've had a bad relationship with 5 men.
Okay, but have you been with all men? Like,
no,
but it's
easier to say that, and it's easier to not trust men because of all of the bad choices that you made.
Yeah, true.
So you can play victim on that one all day long.
Justice, do you do that? Do you find yourself doing that? Like, the experience that you had with one woman, two women, three women, hell, 5, 6, 7 women, and then you generalize it for all women?
I don't do that. But, a lot of dudes do that too.
Yeah, a lot of men do it. I see it.
It's your baggage. It's your baggage.
It's your lower self. That's the easy road. That's your lower self. That's basic. But you have to get to a point where you can see things from another perspective, from the exact opposite even. It's the theory of the 9. If you put a 9 in between two people facing it, it's a 6 from one direction. And they're both right in their perspective.
Right.
And that's their perspective. You have to give people that. You're right in your perspective. Now let's just figure out where we agree, and we can kind of start. And once we've done that, then we can kind of build on these differences and see if we can correct some of them. Right. I'm not concerned with trying to switch your perspective. So, a long time ago, I was told, anytime somebody says something to you, always put it in the mirror and see it from its, reflection. Somebody call you dog, you put it in the mirror, you see God. So you always got to see it from the exact opposite to bring it full circle. Then your perspective is coming from full circle, and you can deal with them if they're only concerned with their perspective. So yeah, I've been through a couple of bad relationships, but that's on that woman. Those are those situations, and I'm not free of blemish in those situations.
Right.
I was an active participant. I still got to figure out what I did, what I could have done differently in those scenarios, even if I didn't have anything to do with what happened. I got to figure out my role.
Works for a whole lot of different situations.
It does. And that takes you vibrating on a higher level. Like you said, your lower self. If you weren't vibrating on a higher level, you would not be thinking that way.
Never.
You would just be thinking that, oh, that bitch did this to me, and I was this type of guy to her.
To somebody else.
It's easy to blame someone else for all your problems. But I was in a bad relationship with this person. So how can I be in a relationship for 10 years with somebody and it's all bad, and I leave the relationship and I blame him? It's all his fault.
Yep, it's easy because you're perfect. I didn't do anything wrong. He did this to me.
Exactly.
He did this to me.
He did this. He did that, and it's all his fault. And now I'm 10 years in a relationship, and I'm single because of him.
Yep. Or I did such because he did da 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 da.
Right. So until you start to actually really look within and self-examine and take that deep walk onto the other side of who you are,
that's hard.
You're gonna constantly be thinking that way and thinking that it's everybody else's fault for all of the shit that you go through.
Self-reflection.
And you're never gonna elevate. You're gonna constantly stay there.
Yep.
And self-reflection is a mother, because self-reflection is gonna bring up some shit that you might not even be ready to deal with.
You're not ready to admit it. You are not ready to admit that you're not the perfect person and the victim that you always thought yourself to be.
Right? Man, that's deep. We went from communication to self-reflection, y'all.
This has been fun.
This is all communication. It absolutely is. And let me to go back to what we were talking about as far as being the aggressive woman and how it can sometimes be off-putting to men, because I've gotten, you one of those type of women. And I'm like, well, what the fuck is that? Because like for example, a dude hit my inbox the other day talking about good morning, sexy.
How you spell sex?
That shit irritated me. Because
you had 3 X's on the sex?
Yes!
Oh,
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
And I got irritated, and my response was, hi, my name is Michele. I'm quite sure you can see my name because, it's in my messenger. And he was like, oh, what? You don't think you're sexy? I said, I am, but that's not how I want to be addressed. That motherfucker got out of my inbox so damn fast.
Well, why you offended? Like,
But
why
did I offend you? Because
why,
I didn't want you approaching me that way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, Michelle. Like, why, you know?
Well, I would have even said something like beautiful. I would have accepted that. But to me, sexy means that you're kind of looking at my pictures like, yeah, I want
to add those extra X's on there.
Yeah,
that's
X-rated.
Yeah, it got a little,
You know what I'm saying? So that's
it got a little raunchy.
It got a little in his mind. So now he figured, let me jump on inbox and see where she at. But I wasn't where he was at. So he was like, well, let me exit her inbox because she ain't where I'm at.
Well, you know what you became, right? Because you let him know that your name is Michelle, and that's how you want to be.
I'm the angry black bitter bitch.
Right? You became that bitch. You
Mm-hmm.
became that bitch.
And so how do y'all feel?
Sit back and check himself. That, you know what? Maybe I approached her incorrectly. She felt like I disrespected her. Whatever. Nothing that he did wrong, because he didn't do anything wrong. But you responded to him. You that bitch.
Right. What were you
going to say? I started the interaction. Well, I was going to say something else, but you saying that's y'all first interaction is him calling you sexy. With
that I don't know him. He just jumped in my inbox, and that was a random.
Yeah, that was poor. That wasn't the best idea. But I wanted to flip from sexy to men referring to you as queen. How do you feel if a man you don't know from Adam, and he said, you know, how you doing, queen, or good morning, queen? How well do you receive that, or how do you receive that?
I think that's amazing, because I feel like you hold me in high regard when you're calling me queen.
Okay. See, a lot of women, you know, have issues with that. They think that's red flag is what I've learned.
Really?
I'm from but I'm originally from Virginia, so you know I have a different dialect from the people around here in Kentucky. But I met a young lady. We were out and about, and I said, "Peace, queen. How are you?" And she said, "Don't call me no motherfucking queen."
Oh,
damn! Wow. I was like, you know what? You know, all right.
Wow. Okay.
I kept it pushing.
She was on something else. Something else went on with her. Something else, some other level that she was on, because that response did not fit what you said.
Don't call me no queen. Call me a bitch.
I ain't no queen. And I was like, okay. I was like, welcome to Kentucky. You know,
right.
I kept it moving.
That blew your mind, because that's like me calling a brother king, and he says, "Don't call me no damn king."
Like, what the hell? That's a high accolade. That's a sign of respect. That's like saying hello, Miss Lady, or you know, whatever.
Right.
That's a thing of respect. That, as opposed to sex.
Right, sex with the 3 X's, and he was on it. Like, I said, okay, get out my inbox, buddy, because I'm not the one at all. And we're not doing that.
He got up on the wrong side of the bed. Don't call me no MF queen. What?
Don't call me no and cuss words.
MF. That's like the epitome of cursing. That's the worst curse word to use.
And you know, and another thing being that I have a potty mouth. You know, I mean,
yes,
some men find that to be a turnoff, and okay, I get it. But it doesn't. I feel like it doesn't take away from my intelligence, because I'm a super smart woman. I just like to cuss.
And I think that, you know, that's fair. Normally, people, if they communicate and that's all the only words that they use to communicate, it is a sign of low IQ, because you do not have the wherewithal. You don't have other words that you can use, as opposed to, you know, you or I using curse words at, you know, pointed times, purposely when we decide to put it in there. That's different.
Where the whole conversation is filth and floth and floth and filth and that
right. Or when you get angry. If you get angry and the first thing, you know, you cursing out, blah blah, you can't have an intelligent disagreement with me without resorting to expletives and calling them to me, you know, you attacking me personally. That's a sign of low IQ to me.
Yeah.
If you cannot disagree with me without attacking me, there's a problem. It's a sign of the law.
Right, without attacking. So, Justice, what is your opinion on women that curse?
I don't have a problem with it. I like communication, so I just take it as emotion. I'm more of I'm a content. I'm all about content.
Right.
I think Lauryn Hill said, "Add a motherfucker so these ignorant niggas hear me clearly." Sometimes you need to.
That's what I'm talking
Sometimes you need to put a well-placed motherfucker goes a long way.
And that's funny that you said that, because one day I had came into work. This was some years back, right? And a bunch of older gentlemen was standing there by the clock. I was walking to the clock, and I said, "Good morning, gentlemen." Most of them said good morning. It was one that didn't say nothing. So I said it again, "Good morning, gentlemen." He didn't respond. So I backed up, right? And I walked back and I said, "I guess if I call you motherfucker, you respond." He looked at me and he was like, "I love her." I couldn't get rid of his ass after that.
God. That's funny.
Yeah.
Because I'm being respectful. I'm addressing you all in that way. And you're not responding. So I'm like, well, but he was like, "Oh, I didn't hear you." He was engrossed in whatever conversation. I said, "Okay. I just was checking."
Hilarious.
And I just kept on moving.
Well, see, he had a good sense of humor.
Yes, he started cracking up laughing. He was like, "Oh my God, I love her." I was like, "I just wanted to check," and I went on about my business and clocked in and went to do my job. But I agree with Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you do have to add it.
You gotta throw that in there, and I'm not above it. I didn't do it now. Like I temper my vernacular with who my audience. Like I said before, if I speak at that level and you're not getting it, you cannot get it, and I already know. If I know I gotta throw in a bitch or MF or any something like that, I'm gonna do that. I'm tempering how I speak to my audience.
Right. Yeah, and we're not using it to degrade, you know what I mean, or put down or anything like that. It's just sometimes it just adds an extra little something. And I always feel like sometimes me cussing might save a life.
Yeah. And I'm not I'm not one of those girls, those females that like, "Don't call me no bitch." Like, Justice, you don't know me, so no, you can't call me no bitch. Michelle can call me a bitch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know where it's coming from. I'm not one of those women. Some women like, "Don't call me no," and don't use it at work. Like it depends on where it's coming from.
Right. It's not coming from a mean space. And some people will say, "Oh, we have to stop this and blah, 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 blah." Look, I'm going to be my authentic self. And if that's who I am, that's who I am. I'm not going to change who I am for anybody. I'm not going to be no watered down version of who I am. And for a long time, I did that because I was so concerned about what others thought. So it was like, okay, well, let me change this about me and change this about me so I can fit in or suit, this other person. I'm 52 years old, about to be 53 years old this year. I don't give a damn.
No, I'm changing for what I feel like I need to. If I feel like it's a change that's going to elevate me, or I'm comfortable doing that change, then I'm going to do it. But I'm not changing it to please you.
Absolutely,
I'm not doing it. I may, temper something, depending on who I'm around or something like that. But I'm not going to force change upon myself that I'm not comfortable with because you're uncomfortable. I'm not doing that.
Trying to make other people comfortable and making yourself comfortable. Dumbing yourself down.
Right. I can't make myself totally. And that's hard. That's major for me because I am someone that will go out of my way for your comfort. Right. I will make myself uncomfortable to ensure that you're uncomfortable. And a lot of people don't. Like, if you don't know me, you don't know that's what I'm going to do.
I'll give you my bed. That's about as far as I'm going to go. Shit.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you, especially if you're in my space, if you're in my home.
Oh, yes,
like,
absolutely.
I was taught that the worst thing you can do is invite somebody into your home and then, be rude to them, right?
Oh, I agree.
So I'm definitely not gonna do that. And because of that, if I don't feel that I can have you in my space, if you make me uncomfortable in my own space, you're no longer welcomed. You are no longer welcomed in my space because this is mine.
Agreed. I totally agree. Well, guys, it's an hour. We're
Oh,
over the
wow.
hour mark. This has been a dope conversation. I really enjoyed this.
Me too.
And y'all know this is the first of the 3rd-part series. And next week I want you guys to come back if you can. And we're going to conclude. And the next part to the series, we're going to be talking about intimacy in relationships.
Okay.
Oh. So same time, same channel.
I feel like we need to have like virtual wine or something like that to get to this, so I can know Justice a little bit more.
Well, I mean, we can log on a little earlier, like we did last week. I mean, like we did today. We could, we could do that. So
yeah,
bond a little bit.
I need to know him. Right? I know you, so I'm like my conversation is tempered because I know you. I'm comfortable.
Right, and this was my first time actually. Like I said, I've interacted with him in the group as far as just on the post or whatever. But this has been my first interaction with him, and it was very enjoyable. So thank you so much, Justice, for coming on.
I'm delighted to be here. I'm willing to come back. I enjoyed the conversation myself. We can do a pregame next week. I'm with
absolutely.
That.
Cool. So guys, thank you so much. See you guys next week. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you. Have a good one. Peace.
Let me